Yes, hello, hi, and welcome to the 2026 Bomb Squad Award Show. We made it through another year, another very exciting year. Lots of cool stuff happened, I swear. Well, maybe not that cool stuff, but the movies were fantastic. I am almost done with my first ever goal of watching every single film nominated for an Academy Award. I have 3 more to go. I have to watch If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I have to watch It Was Just an Accident still. And of course, I have to watch maybe the most well-known Oscar nominee, The Lost Bus, starring Matthew McConaughey, nominated for Best Visual Effects. They really made that bus yellow, people. It was a very yellow bus. But we're not here to talk about the Oscars. We are here to talk about the best in film of the last year at the 2026 Bomb Squad Award Show. Like I said, I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
Hi, I'm Austin Zwiebelman, and I am locked the fuck in!
That's right.
I'm Tim M. Sullivan, coming to you live with my new camera and mic.
That's right. He got a brand new computer just for the award show. No other reason.
Just for this and nothing else.
Now, I know what you may be noticing, guys. In all of the social media marketing for award show, I have misspelled show with 2 W's. Very remarkable, I'm aware, but little did you know that's on purpose. It's to represent that this is our second time in a row doing a live show, and it's a double win. I didn't do it on accident when I first made the logo and then not notice until literally 5 minutes before the show started. I promise, I knew all along this was the case. But yes, we are here to talk about the best in film of last year. We got a lot of categories to go through. We have, as a matter of fact, 21 categories to go through. Of course, we are copying some categories from the Oscars themselves. We have some of our own unique categories. And like the Oscars this year, we have a new category for Best Casting / Ensemble, but we will be discussing that one near the end of the show. For now, as per the tradition we have at this award show, we will be starting with the nominees for Best Horror Film. Let's get right into it. And the nominees are Sinners, The Long Walk, and Weapons. Great group of nominees here, guys. The Long Walk was maybe a bit of a fun surprise to sneak in here, but we have a lot of great nominees to discuss there. But per usual, for every award on this show, I'll be asking everyone 3 questions. 1, what do you think will win this category? What do you think should win this category out of the nominations? And 3, what is your favorite of this nominee, like of this category, regardless if it's nominated or not? Like, what's your favorite horror film of the year, regardless if it has a nomination? I, of course, won't be answering the first of those questions. I already know who won all these awards, but Austin and Tim can have all the fun they won. So, we're going to be starting with maybe the residential horror expert of the group, Tim M. Sullivan. What do you think will win, should win, personal favorite horror film?
So, historically, I have always backed the winning horse in this category, or in last year's case, one of the 3 winning horses. And that's because we didn't do the award show in 2024, so I couldn't be the one person to vote for the Outwaters that year. In any case, I think this year is going to be a return to tradition because I'm going all in on Sinners. I'm going to be singing Sinners' praises a lot tonight, but in short, Sinners is not only the best horror film of last year, but it's one of the best films of last year, period, and it's a remarkable original outing from Ryan Coogler. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. Austin, as per usual, will win, should win, personal favorite.
Smile 2.
Let's go.
Let me tell you, I had a goddamn religious experience watching The Long Walk on the treadmill one night. It was pure sadism on my part. I cried like the Israeli prime minister at a certain New York election. But my pick for best horror, my favorite horror movie of the year was Weapons. Come here. The ending of Weapons let loose more dopamine in my brain than any movie I have felt in ages. But I'll admit, Sinners was probably a more widely beloved movie than Weapons was. And maybe I need to, psychologically confront the fact that the viral marketing for Weapons got me so excited that I'm kind of overlooking the fact that Sinners achieved, modern classic status and made, $100 million more at the box office. So that's probably my lock. Sinners for best horror movie. Back to you,
Great
Tanner.
stuff, great stuff. Well, the gravy train's going to keep on going here for Sinners, because I will say that my personal favorite of these nominees and my personal favorite horror movie of the year overall is Sinners. I think it's Ryan Coogler's best work yet. I think it is so fun to watch. I think it is very deep and meaningful themes. I think it has wonderful performances across the board. I think it is an excellent genre picture. I think it is one of the best vampire movies I've ever seen. It is so much fun to watch. And, it gets you a little spooky sometimes. Sinners is a truly brilliant movie, and it is my personal favorite of these nominees and my favorite horror movie of the year. But what won Best Horror Movie? Can I please get a drum roll? In what will probably be the least surprising result of the night, the winner is, of course, Sinners.
There we go.
Very, very deserving nominee, if I do say so myself. I will say that this was a little close between the first place finisher and the second place finisher, a little closer than you'd think. Guys, what do we think of this win? How about you, Austin? What do you think?
Sinners deserves it. I thought Weapons was overall a better horror movie, but I completely understand the crowd voting for Sinners.
Absolutely. And Tim?
Yep, I think the right one won. Happy to see it and hope to see more.
Your streak continues. How do you feel about that?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, in that case, we're going to... Whoops. Accidentally, I'm hitting the wrong button here on OBS. I'm very professional here. In that case, we are going to go with our next category, which is, of course, Best Actor in a Supporting Role, where the nominees are Daniel Craig, Wake Up Dead Man, Nicholas Hoult in Superman, Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another, and Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Austin, we're going to start with you. What will win, should win, personal favorite supporting acting performance of the year?
My vote for this category, my personal favorite, was Colonel Steve Lockjaw. He is the cartoon fascist that we all needed to laugh at right now. Every time that he shows up in One Battle After Another, he fucking spikes that movie's energy. His fucking tight shirts, his completely out-of-pocket remarks, and that insane, walk that Sean Penn developed, it made him a shoo-in for this award, in my opinion. I will never forget how much my audience lost their minds at the scene where he meets Leo in the supermarket and tells him he really likes black girls. That said, I think that kid from Euphoria is winning the gold. Jacob Elordi really gave Emma Stone a run for her money doing the whole poor things thing. His arc from newborn confusion to childlike curiosity to bitter articulate rage, mostly driven by body language, was spectacular to behold. And as much as I adore Sean Penn doing his best Pete Hegseth impression, I think Jacob Elordi's outing as Frankenstein's monster is the kind of showy, transformative performance that our voters would go for. Lock it in. Frankenstein's gonna win. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Tim, what say you?
I think Jacob Elordi has taken this one, much like Austin said. Of the nominees, my favorite performance is Daniel Craig. But my favorite performance from a supporting actor this year was Ralph Fiennes in 28 Years Later. His performance as Dr. Kelson brought such a heart to the overwhelming bleakness of that film's world. And it cranked that performance up to 666 in the Bone Temple. But he's an excellent standout in the first 28 Years Later film as well. Yep, that's my pick. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, what I will say is that my personal favorite in this category and my personal favorite overall is the same. I'm going with Jacob Elordi and Frankenstein. It is a movie that I had some problems with. I talked about it a lot in our episode with it. It is not my favorite adaptation of Frankenstein, nor is Jacob Elordi necessarily my favorite performance of Frankenstein's monster ever. That would, of course, always be Boris Karloff, but for what Del Toro was trying to accomplish in this movie and what Jacob Elordi is able to achieve is just so, to me, singular, special, and incredible that it made that movie so remarkably fantastic that I had no choice but to love it. And that is why it's my favorite supporting acting performance of the year. Though I do want to say, a brief aside, a special shout out to my second place in that category, who I almost voted in first, which would be Cliff Blake in the movie Ephus. Ephus was one of my favorite movies of the year, obviously. And he was a big reason why, is sort of the one big fan of these two guys that randomly play and being the scorekeeper. I felt like he was the heart that kind of glued the movie together, and it was a standout performance in a movie full of standout performances. But I like the Elordi a hair more. But what did our voters think? Can I, of course, get a drum roll, please? This is one of the closer races of the night. Definitely one of the closer races of the night. But at the end, I'd say you guys nailed it. The winner is Jacob Elordi and Frankenstein.
Well, shit. Huh.
Who, to be frank, I think also has a pretty good chance of winning the Oscar in real life. Frank. No, that's the other Frankenstein movie that just came out. The Bride, only in theaters. Okay, guys. Tim, what do you think of that winner?
I mean, it's not surprising, and I definitely think he is deserving. He gave an excellent performance, was definitely one of the better parts of that movie. Like you said, I also had some issues that I expressed, but I think Elordi is a deserving winner.
Definitely, probably, easily the standout of the picture. Austin, what about you?
Should have been Lockjaw. Should have been Colonel Steve Lockjaw. But I mean, come on, he was in prosthetics for 9 hours every day. You gotta hand it to him. It was a tougher thing to do, so I kind of respect it.
I suppose I do have to hand it to him. Sean Penn is great in that movie, and he is probably going to win the Oscar on Sunday. I'd be surprised if someone else won that Oscar. Though, like I said, Elordi has a chance, but I think Sean Penn has that pretty locked up. And, yeah, Elordi's great in this movie. But we're going to move on to our next category, which is, of course, the Bomb Squad Award for Best Sound in a Motion Picture. And the nominees are One Battle After Another, Eddington, Sinners, F1, and Frankenstein. Really, really interesting group of nominees here, I'd say. Probably one of the sound category has historically been an interesting category for us. I remember a couple years ago, EO was nominated in Best Sound despite making it nowhere else in our ballot. But we are gonna have a lot to say about this category, I'm sure. Starting with Tim, what do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your personal favorite sound in a motion picture this year?
I think this one's gonna go to either One Battle After Another or F1. My vote was for Frankenstein, though. I think the scale of the world made for a really interesting soundscape, and just the guttural sounds Jacob Elordi makes throughout the film will always stick with me. Yeah, that's my pick. Back to you, Taylor.
Great stuff, great stuff. Austin will win, should win, personal favorite. Keep in mind, you are not allowed to say Smile 2. That came out last year.
Shit! I voted for my personal favorite, One Battle After Another. It had richly layered textures that really shaped each location on, like, an emotional level. The dynamic range was also spectacular and really helped accentuate the moments of fucking chaos. That said, I'm wondering if everybody voted for Sinners, because it's one of those movies where you hear the world as much as you see it, They used some really crazy tools. They used Isotope RX, which we're familiar with this on this show, and they also used Hush Pro to keep a lot of the real production sounds from set in the final mix, which is pretty crazy for an IMAX movie because they usually use more ADR than a spaghetti western. They did some really cool shit, though, like using the Atmos mix to craft a distinct texture for day versus night, and the white part of town versus the black part of town. I will never forget seeing Sinners in IMAX, enjoying the way that the mix went absolutely batshit during the Ancestral Vision trip. So, yeah, that's my lock. Sin It to win it, best sound all around. Back to you, Tanner.
All right, great stuff, great stuff. Well, my personal favorite of the nominees and what my personal favorite sound of the motion picture all year is the same. It was Sinners. There's just a lot of sound effects in that movie that have really stuck with me. I think the soundscape is very engaging. Recreating a lot of these old-timey sounding sound effects I think are really incredible. I think a lot of the vocal mixing is impressive too, especially with some of the vampire stuff. There's some stuff with the way some of them talks with like these dual layered voices that sounds really cool, that I really dug. Overall though, yeah, it was just my personal favorite for best sound in a motion picture this year. And just what a really unique category. We have Eddington in here, which is only nominated in one other category, and F1 snuck in here, which is cool.
When I saw Eddington in the nominees, I just immediately thought of the part where he has the fucking machine gun. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it.
I thought of the part where him and Pedro Pascal kept fighting over turning that stereo system off.
That too.
And I think
Katy Perry's Firework. I'm never gonna forget that. Best use of firework in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But only one of these. Hold on one second. Only one of these movies can be the winner. So, if I may get a drum roll, please. Well, this was, I believe, the closest race of any of our award show categories, but by a margin of 35 points to 34 points, the winner is Sinners.
Oh!
I'm having a good night here, fellas. I'm having a fantastic night here. Yeah, what do we think about that? Austin, what say you? What do you think about Sinners clinching the best sound? I believe this is what you predicted to win.
Yeah. Sinners had a lot of excellent audio stuff going on. It was really like a tight race in my mind for whether the voters would go for this or F1, because that movie also did a really good job of making you feel like you're inside the car. But Sinners felt like a richer experience than F1. It got to do crazier things with the sound. So I think it fully deserves the trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a deserving win. Always happy to see Sinners get more wins. Yeah, fearful.
We'll see if Sinners gets some more wins tonight. Obviously, I'm happy. It was my favorite sound in a motion picture this year, and I am glad to see that the other voters agree with me, even though I am pretty confident F1 is going to be winning that Oscar on Sunday.
Right.
But speaking of categories that we... yeah, they hate us because they hate us. Speaking of categories we share with the Oscars, our next category is Best Animated Feature Film. And the nominees are Looney Tunes, The Day the Earth Blew Up, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and Zootopia 2. Austin, we're going to start with you, of course. What do you think what do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your personal favorite of this category?
Now you see, I'm a degenerate fuck, and I voted for Zootopia 2, which is probably my favorite animated movie of the year, because I respect any Disney movie that makes direct references to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. This movie, it helped me confront my racism against snakes. And my agent told me that voting for this would help me repair my relationship with the furry community. But I'm not a chump. I know K-Pop Demon Hunters is the shoo-in for this. More people watched K-Pop Demon Hunters than the inauguration mass for the new Pope. If we had as many intelligent voters in this country as we had fans of K-Pop Demon Hunters, we'd have high-speed rail by last week. That's my lock. K-pop, don't stop, baby. Demon Hunters for best cartoon. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Tim, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite animated movie of the year?
K-pop Demon Hunters has taken this one, no contest. And I think it's the most deserving nominee. It's a really excellent original animated film with some great messages, and it's resonated with a lot of people. That being said, my favorite animated film of last year was Predator Killer of Killers. It's a movie that could have easily just been a low-effort cash grab, but it was actually a very engaging anthology story that served as a really fun vehicle for Predator action. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, for me, my personal favorite of these nominees and my personal favorite animated movie of the year overall is the same. Austin, you're not alone on that island. My favorite animated movie of last year was Zootopia 2.
There we go!
I think it is about as good, if maybe not a hair better than the original. I actually think I probably prefer the original more. I do think that it further expands the anti-racism metaphor in a really fun and interesting way. I think just as a pure like narrative device, I think it's a lot of fun. A great little like mystery thriller chaser thing for kids. I don't know. Zootopia 2 was a lot of Zootopia 2. Zootopia. Fuck. Zootopia. Zootopia 2. Christ. Was a lot of fun.
Zootopia 2 Christ mode.
The passion of the Zootopia 2. It's a lot. Zootopia. It's a lot of fun.
It's time the cross is neon.
All right, let's see what the fuck won. Can I get a drum roll, please? It was closer than you think, but the answer was obvious. It's K-pop Demon Hunters.
I mean, come on. There we go.
By a matter of only 4 points, however, it was surprisingly close. And before we discuss the nominees, I do just want to let you guys know something. That until I got the second to last ballot I received for awards show this year, I want everyone to know that we were dangerously close to a Minecraft movie being nominated in this category, which is insane to me because I don't think that fucking counts.
It has live action plates.
It's
in the majority of the movie.
One thing when you do Avatar Fire and Ash, I think that's an interesting discussion to be had. A Minecraft movie follows a much more traditional live action pipeline. But regardless, K-pop Demon Hunters is the winner. Tim, what do you think about that?
I'm feeling golden. Yeah, I think it's a deserving win. Good movie. Think it's definitely taken that Oscar, and glad to see it win here.
I agree. It's a quite deserving winner. It's probably going to take home 2 Oscars on Sunday, believe it or not. Well, do believe it, I'd say.
I'm feeling. I think probably, yeah.
It's probably going to win Best Song, even though I personally think "I Lied to You" should win Best Song.
I Lied to You is the more deserving song, but I think Golden is getting it.
Golden's not even the best song in K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not. I'm not even sure if it's the second best. I liked the fucking, I forget what it's called, so maybe I didn't like it that much. The one where like the girl and the boy are like, wow, maybe we do have someone who understands me. And then I also liked the soda pop song a lot. Thought it was very catchy. But speaking of music, our next category is Best Score. We got 5 really interesting nominees here, and those nominees are One Battle After Another, The Fantastic Four: First Steps, Sinners, Begonia, and Marty Supreme. Tim, we're going to start with you on this one. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite score of the last year?
Once again, I'm going all in on Sinners. Sinners is a movie that uses music's cultural importance to tell its story, and the music in the film is all incredible. I've listened to both the vocal soundtrack album and the score album on Spotify, and they both fucking slap. The track "Thy Kingdom Come" in particular was very striking to me for its haunting and bleak sound. It's an overall incredible score by Ludwig Göransson, and it deserves the win. Back to you, Tanner.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Austin, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
See, this one's more subjective. You could lose your house bidding on shit like this. I positively adored, this was my favorite score of the year, the Marty Supreme soundtrack by One Tricks Point Never. It's synth heavy. It makes you feel like you're hearing Marty's inner life and not like the regular 1950s like period piece wallpaper. Ooh. That said, One Battle After Another was at the top of my ballot, and I also think that movie's taken home the gold. I know I've got, like, Johnny Greenwood bias as the acting president of the Radiohead Male Manipulator Club, but the jazzy, fucking modernist piano and those twitchy strings, it gave the film this exciting musical identity that reminded me of Birdman the first time I saw that. Not to mention, the second Leo is going through that tunnel all the way up until he's tased was one of the most memorable musical experiences of 2025. That's my theory. One Battle After Another is winning best score. Back to you, Tanner.
All right. All right. Well, these are both some fantastic answers I'm hearing. And for me, my personal favorite of these nominees is a tough question to answer. I think these are all very good scores. None of these were my favorite score of the year, however. I will get to that in a moment. But I think out of these nominees, I am most partial to One Battle After Another score. I think it is, while somewhat traditional, also very unique sounding. I really like that main piano riff that is very anxiety-inducing. The Battle of Bocton Cross scene especially, I think, just has the music interwoven in there perfectly. I really, really liked it when I saw it in the theaters, and it's also a good driving song, believe it or not. You think it wouldn't be. You think it'd be anxiety-inducing, but it's not. My favorite score of the year, however, was so close to being nominated. It actually came in 6th place of our nominees today, according to our point system. But my favorite score of the last year was Superman. It is... I've found in recent years that the thing that is most likely to help a movie make me cry is if the music hits a part of me emotionally. And I'll just never forget in those first 10 minutes of Superman, when he flies out of the Fortress of Solitude back to Metropolis, and just the way that score brought up that like that sort of remix of the John Williams score, which is probably why it wasn't getting a lot of love, because it does really rely on that John Williams theme. But I think it does its own thing with it, and a lot of the other musical pieces I think that are original are also very fantastic. I absolutely adored the score to Superman. It was my favorite score of the year, and I was bummed to see we didn't nominate it. But I'm pretty sure 2 years in a row there, like, my personal favorite in every category was nominated. So maybe it's for the best I got knocked down a peg or two for once. But only one of these can win our award for best sound, or best score, rather. So if I can get a drum roll, please. Wasn't too close. Again, closer than you would think it'd be. But the winner was, of course, Sinners.
Fuck!
So, for those keeping track at home, I believe that is the 3rd award Sinners has won. Best horror, best score, and best sound. Which I think means it's won every category it's been nominated for so far. Really interesting. All right. Austin, what do you think of that win?
Changing the title to Winners.
I mean, I feel betrayed. I feel downright wronged. But I respect the shit out of Sinners. If I had to pick a number 2, that would be it. I'm not surprised the crowd went this way. I'm excited to hear Tim's thoughts, though, as somebody who can name the tracks off the score.
Yeah, Tim, what do you think?
I definitely think this win is deserved. Happy to see it. Yeah, I'm excited for this win. It's a great score. I do also really love the One Battle After Another score. In particular, there's like a part where it's kind of like cutting between Leo driving and the DNA test thing happening, where it like kind of sounds like Wicked Witch of the West. Like that bit I really liked. But yeah, Sinners is my favorite, so I'm excited that won.
And I agree. Sinners is a great score. But it is time to move on to our next category. And before I announce this category, I actually have some unfortunate, sad news to share, depending on how you feel. This is probably the last time we are going to give this award out in this next category, because historically, year after year, the majority of voters don't vote in this category.
Yeah.
And that category, and it breaks my heart because I think this is an important category, that category is Best Documentary Feature Film. And the nominees are The Perfect Neighbor. This is the Tom Green documentary in Grand Theft Hamlet. Remind me, who did I start with last one?
I think that was me.
Okay, so then I'll start with Austin for the Best Documentary Film. What do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
You're just trying to throw me off my betting game by making me feel shame. Okay, I'm married. I have to run every film we screen by my spouse. Wasn't in a documentary mood this year, so I'm part of the reason. I'm the bad guy here. I didn't cast a ballot in this category because I spent the whole year huffing glue. But I did some cursory Googling, and from what I saw in there, I think Grand Theft Hamlet is winning tonight's Best Doc. Just look up the trailer, then start looking up Bomb Squad members on Facebook and look at their profile pictures. The choice is obvious. Lock it in. Grand Theft Hamlet for Best Doc. That's the one. Back to you, Tanner.
I just want to make sure everyone knows that while it's true that every member of Bomb Squad votes on this, I do want to say that outside members also vote on this, which will influence the results.
We have a lot of people who vote.
Yeah, a fair amount of. Well, we actually had some lower participation this year, but that's okay. It's led to some fun nominees. And speaking of the nominees for this category, Tim, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
So I'll say this. I really want to watch more documentaries. I usually try to watch at least enough to fill my ballot each year, but most of the documentaries that interest me are festival docs that maybe get a one-day theatrical screening near us and then might not ever hit streaming or home video. So since I only watched one this year, I'm forced to go all in on Grand Theft Hamlet. I did quite like Grand Theft Hamlet because, on one hand, putting what is effectively a machinima in theaters is a really good bit. But on the other hand, it tells a really relatable story for me. We were all filmmakers who lost work and opportunities to the pandemic. Our channel was quite literally born from us coming together during the pandemic in the midst of the 2020 election. And for me specifically, I really related to Sam because his struggles to maintain the balance between his marriage and his artistic passion project is definitely something that I have experienced. It's a love letter to struggling artists everywhere, and I'm glad I got to see it. Back to you, Tanner.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. At the time when I filled this ballot out, this has changed since then. I've seen more from last year since then. But at the time that I filled the ballot out, I had only seen one documentary last year. And that documentary was, in fact, Grand Theft Hamlet.
Let's go!
But I will say, I fucking adored Grand Theft Hamlet for a lot of the same reasons Tim just said. I'm always a sucker, though, for the humanity's desperate reach for connection in an isolating moment like COVID was, especially in the UK that had more serious lockdowns than we here in the States did. I think that Grand Theft Hamlet is a wonderful movie. It was one of the first movies I saw in theaters this year. I literally took a day off from work to watch that movie in theaters. I dragged poor Bennett to it, who kept telling me, I don't get why you like it that much. It was just a video game. And I was like, you don't understand. But at the same time, part of my motivation for wanting to see it in theaters was putting a feature-length machinima in theaters is a very good bit. It helps that it's also, I think, a genuinely spectacular documentary on top of that. I will say, though, that since filling out my ballot, I have seen The Perfect Neighbor, and I thought The Perfect Neighbor was also quite good. I have not seen the This Is the Tom Green documentary because Tom Green can go fuck himself. Those are my thoughts on the matter. Go to hell. You made Freddy Got Fingered.
It's actually really funny. It's a really funny movie.
To whatever you say, buddy. To each their own, I suppose. But only one of these movies can be the last ever winner for Bomb Squad Award for Best Documentary Film. So if I can get a drum roll, please. Simply due to the fact that it was the only movie that appeared in multiple people's ballots. The winner is Grand Theft Hamlet.
Yes, of course.
When I say this, that is because it appeared in 3 people's ballots.
Aw.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Other people either just skipped it or they were the reason the other 2 movies got nominated. Well, Austin, you really called out the shit out of us. So what do you think of that win?
Trailer looked cool. I remember the day you took off work to go see it. I was jealous. I was like, that looks fun as fuck. It just seemed up our alley. I was really desperately hoping that one of these other documentaries wasn't one of those giant Palme d'Or winning masterpieces. I was like, what if I'm voting against the fucking what's that Oppenheimer movie with the act of killing? What if I'm voting against something as good as the act of killing because I haven't fucking seen it? Very thankful right now that my lock wasn't the dumbest shit ever.
You could say though that it is the dumbest shit ever because The Perfect Neighbor is nominated for an Oscar.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Unlike these other 2 movies. Well, Tim, your favorite documentary of the year won. How does that make you feel?
By process of elimination, pretty good. It's a good movie. Good movie for us specifically, being low end artists. It's a win for the YouTubers everywhere.
I do want to say another thing I really love about Grand Theft Hamlet is that it is a good representation of a thesis of mine, which is that a good film can be made of any piece of equipment. Having good equipment, great equipment, does help, but a good film can be made with anything, including a video game that was over a decade old. But now that we're done with this, let's be frank, rather sad state of affairs because it's the last time we're ever doing Best Documentary, to an award that year after year has usually been the most easy category to predict. And I do suspect that this year will be no different because the next category is Best Visual Effects. And the nominees are Frankenstein, The Fantastic Four First Steps, Sinners, Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Predators, Badlands. I think I got the name wrong. Isn't it just Predator Badland?
Predator Badlands.
I'm trying my best. I spelled show wrong.
Amazing, sweetie.
I spelled show wrong, and it took me over a week to notice. Cut me some slack. All right. Well, I guess we will start with... I think I started with Austin. Yeah, so Tim, we'll start with you. What do you think should win of these nominees? What is your personal favorite visual effects thing? Oh, and I forgot to ask the first question. Why do you think Avatar's winning? We'll start with you, Tim.
This category is fucking rigged. Every year we do this show, it's either Dune or Avatar. It's diabolically unfair. Of course, Avatar Fire and Ash is taking this award. We all sung the VFX's praises on the episode we did on it. Matt told us all the crazy shit they did. Just mail Matt his fucking trophy. That being said, I do want to give an honorable mention to Predator Badlands because the VFX in that film made for an engaging and immersive otherworldly experience. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. Austin, why do you think Avatar Fire and Ash is winning? What do you think should win, and what is your personal favorite?
let's just get this out of the way. Fantastic Four: The First Steps is taking home this trophy. And by that I mean, this glue that I've been huffing is some of the best glue I've ever huffed. But
just some gourmet
if I
glue.
were sober, if I was sober, obviously I'd be voting for Avatar: Fire and Ash. To people who are not actively abusing inhalants like me, it's the obvious frontrunner for best visual effects. Not only are they building on, like, the absurdly futuristic tech stack from Way of the Water, but they invented new shit for simulating fire and magma and the musculature on the CG characters. It might take 5 to 10 years until any other non-Avatar studio movie has CGI that looks like this. Yeah, it's my most confident lock of the night, Tanner. You aren't fucking kidding. Please, God, don't let me down. Avatar: Fire and Ash for best VFX yet come to pass. Back to you.
Absolutely. Well, my personal favorite of the nominees and what is my personal favorite VFX of the year are the same. It's Avatar: Fire and Ash. James Cameron did it again. He made the most spectacular visual effects known to man. It somehow looks even better than Way of the Water did. It's fantastic, so much so that I'm going to take this moment to actually talk about my number 2 in this category, which was No Other Choice. Park Chan-wook's newest movie has a lot of that good invisible CGI stuff that modern movies aren't being given enough credit for. It is pretty seamlessly integrated. I also think a lot of the motion graphic stuff in the movie is also quite spectacular, which is arguably editing, arguably visual effects. It can go either way. But Park Chan-wook is the only filmmaker that's making really interesting stuff with smartphones. And part of that is how he chooses to display them, which is in part a visual effect exercise. I mostly voted it for second because I just really liked the way the smartphones looked in that movie. It's really my only good reason. But can I please get a drum roll? Let's see what won best visual effects. Yada, 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 yada. It's Avatar: Fire and Ash. Tim, why do you think it won?
There we go.
No, yeah.
Austin, how about you, buddy?
Yeah.
Looked good. It was pretty.
That's
You did a
correct.
good job.
That is also
Congrats, Matt.
very correct.
Matt, you did great.
Let's
Congratulations.
move on to a competitive, interesting category, which is Best Cinematography. And the nominees are One Battle After Another, Wake Up Dead Man, Sinners, Begonia, and Weapons. Austin, we're going to start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite cinematography in a movie this year, regardless of the nominees?
I love how you hit on that G in begonia, like it's a pizza pie.
Begonia.
I fucking love that.
Like a big begonia.
Begonia.
Oh, staff.
Bees! I think this one comes down to One Battle and Sinners, duh. They were both shot on large format film stock. They both have a rich, vintage look. I cast my ballot for my favorite cinematography of the year, One Battle After Another. There's that French 75 raid on the immigration facility, Leo's Odyssey running from the law. It has one car chase that could be straight out of the French Connection, and a second car chase that redefined what's possible in car chases. But, you know what it doesn't have? Michael B. Jordan with a Tommy gun, shooting Klansmen in 143 IMAX. Sinners has some really complicated Steadicam and crane moves, even with the famously heavy cameras they had to shoot on. It's also fair to say, Sinners, it had the most iconic Wonder of the Year, with Miles Canton's performance of I Lied to You. It's like somebody remade From Dusk Till Dawn at the same level of quality as There Will Be Blood. Lock it in. Sinners is the winner for the Pretty Picture Award. Back to you, Tim.
Many such cases. Tim, what say you? What do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
I'm going all in on One Battle After Another. PTA did some incredible things with VistaVision to make this thrilling action comedy feel big and epic. The Rolling Hill sequence alone is so incredible that it deserves this award. Sinners comes in at a close second because that film also did some amazing things with the cinematography, much like Austin was saying, especially that Wonder with I Lied to You. That was an incredible sequence. But I have to go with One Battle After Another for this one. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, my favorite of these nominees is Sinners. I think Sinners is spectacularly shot. It uses large format film incredibly well. It is remarkable to work with. You can actually tell what is happening in the nighttime scenes, which is not necessarily something you always get nowadays. It's just truly spectacular looking, and that oneer that we're all talking about might have been the scene of the year. It's up there. So that's my personal favorite of the nominees. My personal favorite cinematography of the year, however, was 28 Years Later. And not just because they shot it on iPhones. The fact that they used that technology is cool, but it's what they were able to accomplish using that technology that really impressed me. That sort of like evolution of the bullet time from Matrix stuff, where they do that camera rig where they have like 20 iPhones in a circle, and they do that crazy like video game type juddering, is really cool. I think the colors are really interesting. I think it takes advantage of the iPhone sort of natural color processing a little bit, even though it is obviously probably using the Blackmagic Raw iPhone app. I think it is really spectacular looking and it's breathtaking to look at. There were so many shots in that movie that just kind of play in my head as these wallpapers. Every shot that uses the juddering cam, that shot of them running in the water away from the Alpha back home to safety. There are just a lot of truly spectacular shots in this movie, but chief among them to me is the final shot of Spike laying his mother's skull on the top of the bone tower. Just a gorgeous shot, brilliantly framed. Danny Boyle and his team did some really remarkable work with those iPhones, and that is why it is my favorite cinematography of the year. Unfortunately, 28 Years Later wasn't nominated, so it obviously isn't winning. But what is winning? Can I get a drum roll, please? One of the closer fights of the night. The winner is Sinners.
Yeah, I knew it. Woo!
Very close battle. I believe that is Sinners is what? 4th win of the night so far. It's having a pretty strong night. Austin, what do you think about that?
In my heart, I wanted to go with One Battle After Another, but then I remembered all, like, the Reddit best cinematography threads that I've seen in my life. Like, there's a lot more people posting that shot from Thor Ragnarok where he's in slow motion with the hammer than there are stills from Days of Heaven. I think that, like, the cinematography being good in One Battle After Another is not going to touch the average, like, person quite as much as Sinners is. I think it's got a showier kind of way about it. And so that's why I picked it as the winner. Mind you, it's completely deserving. But it really was like a battle raging inside me to not go with Tim's vote that One Battle was going to win. And I guess I'm happy I guessed correctly.
Tim, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, once again, definitely happy to see Sinners get another win. The cinematography is incredibly strong in Sinners, even if that wasn't my number one pick of the category. It was a very close number 2.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, I agree. Sinners is a very deserving winner. Like I said, it was my favorite of the nominees. And even if it wasn't my favorite of the cinematography of the year so far, at least it was another horror movie.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Sinners with its 4th win of the night. And Sinners is also nominated for our next category. Will it take home another award with that? We'll find out in a minute as we announce the nominees for Best Stunt / Choreography. And the nominees are One Battle After Another, Weapons, Sinners, Thunderbolts, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Austin, we're going to start with you. What do you think will win, should win, personal favorite stunts or choreography of the year? Go.
I mean, at least something's going to come along and interrupt the combo move of Sinners winning everything. This is one of those categories like Avatar with VFX, where if this show was set up like a bingo card, this would be a center space. Don't get me wrong, all of the nominees have really impressive stunts. Leo jumping off a car in one battle, Florence Pugh jumping off the world's second tallest building in Thunderbolts, the little kids jumping through the fucking walls like the Juggernaut during the ending of Weapons. But only one of these movies has Buster Keaton level, man ready to kill himself for cinema level stunts, and that is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Tanner and I once spent at least 10 minutes going back and forth discussing the unholy fucking logistics of the biplane handoff shot where Tom Cruise hops from one plane to another. This movie did not win my heart, but if we're going just by stunts alone, I think it's undefeatable. MI8, it's gonna be great, lock that shit in, Ethan Hunt wins for stunt. Back for you, Tanner.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tim, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
It's definitely going to Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Tom Cruise is an absolute madman, and between the plane stunt and the submarine set piece, this movie has definitely earned him this award.
And is that your personal favorite too?
Yeah.
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 I would say my favorite of the nominees and my personal favorite of the year is the same. It's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I mean, come the fuck on, guys. He jumped from one biplane to another biplane. He jumped from one biplane to another biplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the middle of the sky, with minimal rigging.
The movie could have just been that scene, and it would still by far be my favorite of this category. He jumped between biplanes, which to me is just a plane.
Do you remember the picture we looked at? It was called The Handoff. Chris McCurry uploaded a picture of it to Twitter to clear the air on how they did it. Which was to say, he basically uploaded a picture that said, yeah, we really did that. Tom Cruise didn't have a big invisible harness or something. He just jumped from one plane to another plane!
One plane after another.
Absolute madman.
Well, did it win? Did the voters agree with us? We'll find out. Drum roll, please. The winner for Best Stunts and Choreography is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I mean, come the fuck on,
there
guys.
We go.
Come on. What are we doing here? If something else won, what are we doing here? Right? Like, what are we doing?
It's famous for its stunts. That's like the reason people go to see these things. It's like if you did like best nudity and didn't elect Swordfish or something. Like it's the reason people showed up for the movie. It's the stunts.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Tim, how about you? I mean, I guess you said all you had to say already, but yeah.
He jumped from one biplane to another biplane. What more can be said?
It's fucking nuts, man. I thought he was never going to top hanging off the side of a plane from Rogue Nation, and then he jumped between planes. Like, holy shit, man. Well, it is time to move on to our final category before a brief commercial break, where the nominees are, for Best Comedy Film, the nominees are Ephus, The Naked Gun, and Eddington. Lots of interesting choices here. So, Austin, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? Or, oh, no, start with Tim?
I think we start with Tim.
Well, we'll start with Tim. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your personal favorite comedy of the year?
I think The Naked Gun will and should win this award. It was a really funny return to a classic comedy series that honored the spirit of the original while bringing its own modern spin to it. But my favorite comedy of 2025, because I'm a madman, was Begonia. Yorgos's strange brand of surreal, dark comedy really hit for me in this film. And to me, it felt like the perfect platonic middle ground between Poor Things and Kind of Kindness. That's my pick. I'm going in on Begonia. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, Austin, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite comedy of the year?
I want to thank you personally for introducing me to this one. On my ballot, I voted for Ephus. I swear to God, it felt like some mythical, lost, classic Richard Linklater film. I just couldn't believe how actually hilarious the fucking Tanner meme movie was. I understand now why he did the bit. This random small-town baseball movie had funnier dialogue than I swear to fucking God any movie I've ever seen with Kevin Hart, Melissa McCarthy, or Ricky Gervais. It tops all of them. I am just... Okay, so one movie I had a really fun time with that didn't show up was One of Them Days. Wasn't among the nominees. That movie was funny as fuck. Watch it with your friends. But Ephus is kind of small beans. Kind of a niche film. I'd wager The Naked Gun is probably taking home the gold for this. More people saw that movie, more people probably voted for it, and it's kind of hard not to hand the trophy to a movie that features a cuckold snowman. That's probably my lock. Best comedy, Naked Gun. Back to you, Tim.
Great stuff, great stuff.
There it is!
My favorite comedy of the year was Ephus.
Oh, really? I'm shocked.
I know this is probably very shocking to hear. Probably haven't heard me talk about it that much. But my favorite of these nominees, my favorite comedy of the year, was the movie Ephus. Please, for the love of God, watch Ephus.
Jeez.
Did the voters agree with me? We'll find out here in a second. Can I get a brief drum roll, please?
Ephus sweep.
What I will say is that until I received our very last ballot, this was a tie. But our very last ballot broke that tie. And because of that, the winner is The Naked Gun.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty fair choice. I'd say it was my third favorite comedy of the year. I do think The Naked Gun was really funny. It is among the hardest I've laughed in a theater ever. It's not quite as funny as the original The Naked Gun, but it's still really fucking funny. Yeah, Austin, how about that? Ephus was not the little machine that could, but the fact that it's here at all is still an accomplishment.
Yeah. I got my whole, like, triangular manhole cover craving out of The Naked Gun with the scene where he kicks out the windshield wiper and people put bees and balloons and then eventually another fucking, with the windshield. Just people are walking with another windshield and it just comes right back into the car. That was the loudest I heard an audience laugh this year. So you know what? It's deserving. I'm happy they were able to pick up with that franchise and get some of the Zucker Brothers energy back in there.
What I will say is that while Ephus was my favorite comedy this year, The Naked Gun is the movie that made me laugh the hardest. During a scene near the beginning of the movie where Liam Neeson, I think, is meeting the villain for one of the first times, the villain talks about how he has his own personal gentleman club where men can cut loose, relax, and as the Black Eyed Peas once said, let's get R-worded.
Can't do that here.
Let's get R-worded. The fact that the Black Eyed Peas song was originally called that has always been one of the funniest things to me. And when I heard that in that fucking theater, I laughed so goddamn hard because that feels like it's been an inside joke with myself for half my life. So it was really funny to finally see it get acknowledged, I guess, in a movie. But more importantly, I had to laugh at that joke because I needed it to be clear. I felt like I had to laugh, so my parents knew it was also okay to laugh at that joke.
You gave them permission.
Give him the pass.
Tim, what do you think of this win, huh?
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, I still have not seen Ephus. I have seen The Naked Gun, I've also seen Eddington, and, like, I've enjoyed Eddington more on the second watch, but I definitely think that The Naked Gun is the more deserving of the two for this award. It's incredibly funny. The bit that always sticks with me is when Liam Neeson punches the bad guy in the stomach and he just goes, "You hit me in my belly. You hit me in the soft part of my belly." It's like, do you know how fights work?
I'm also really fond of when Dave Bautista randomly shows up. Well, that has been 10 fantastic awards given out so far, with 4 of them being won by Sinners. Pretty dominant night to start for Sinners so far. Will it continue this run in the second half of the show? Find out after a brief break. We'll see you in a minute. All right, yes, welcome back to the 2026 Bomb Squad Award Show. If you're watching this live, I believe we had an ad break on the Twitch stream coincide with that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome back from the ad break for another ad. See that stuff up there? That's a movie palette. Takes the primary color of every frame of your favorite movies, slices it all up in these little bits, throws it on a canvas for your viewing pleasure. That's the one for the movie Punch Drunk Love. Tim is pointing to the one for the movie Mandy. There's plenty of other movies. Most of the Oscar nominees, a lot of the Bomb Squad Award Show nominees are all available on the website. And if your personal favorite movie is not on there, for a little extra money, you can get one custom made. So go ahead, add a movie palette to your cart. But before you check out, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. Thank you so much for listening. And now let's get back to the awards. As per tradition, we are coming back from the ad break with our second of 4 acting categories. That's right, the next category is Best Actress in a Supporting Role, where the nominees are Haley Steinfeld in Sinners, Amy Madigan in Weapons, Tiana Taylor in One Battle After Another, Julia Garner in Weapons, and Ariana Grande, Wicked for Good. Austin, we're going to start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your favorite personal supporting performance by an actress this year?
The devil and God are raging inside me right now. Part of me knows how many people are going to vote for Ariana Grande because she's not winning that Oscar, but in our little corner of the universe, there's a chance. But also, Amy Madigan's the favorite to win this in a lot of award shows with legit, Zionist backing. When I cast my ballot, I had to kill the theater kid inside me, and I had to admit that Amy Madigan had her Anthony Hopkins moment. Her look in Weapons was iconic. Her performance changed the whole temperature of the movie. And she mastered a bunch of tiny, weird behavioral details that just set the whole thing over the top. I've never seen Twice in a Lifetime, but I think it's crazy. That is both her first Oscar nod and an accurate description of how many Oscar nods she'll ever get. Lock it in for Amy Madigan, who wakes up once every 40 years to abso-fucking-lutely steal the show. Weapons for Best Supporting Actress. Back to you, Tim.
I love that you say ever, like Amy Madigan's gonna McFucking die tomorrow or some shit.
You really think she's getting another one of these?
Weapons
really?
2, baby. Weapons 2.
Holy shit!
2 puns.
Yeah. Tim, what say you? What do you think will win of these nominees? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite supporting performance by an actress this year?
I'm going all in on Haley Steinfeld. Her performance in Sinners was one of the biggest standouts of the film. Her character was fascinating, at times frustrating, and brought perfectly to life by Steinfeld. That's my pick. Back to you.
Will win, should win, and personal favorite. Wow, all right, all in one. Well, my pick for the favorite of these nominees, I think quite a few categories this night, is not my favorite supporting performance overall, but my favorite of these nominees is Amy Madigan in Weapons. Just a delightful villain performance. Really over the top. It's a lot of fun. It's delightfully evil. It's deliciously evil. It's just a lot of fun to watch her go, and then it's a lot of fun to see a bunch of fucking kids go after her like a heat-seeking missile. That's a lot of fun. But my personal favorite supporting performance by an actress this year was not nominated. And that performance was Jodie Comer in 28 Years Later. Just a perfect performance of a woman experiencing severe memory loss, basically dementia-like symptoms because of brain cancer. She, to me, I think is like, if her performance isn't pitch perfect, that movie fucking falls apart. Especially the second half of that movie, it just does not work without her. And it's so beautiful. It is heartbreaking when she has that one last moment of lucidity to tell her son she's sorry. It's a really, really special performance. I think it's hard to do that memory loss type thing, and I think she really did a spectacular job. Unfortunately, that will not be the winner of this category, but what did win this category? Can I get a drum roll, please? It wasn't close. The winner is Amy Madigan in Weapons.
Okay.
Was not particularly close. She ran away with this one a bit. Well, then I guess, Tim, what do you think of that win?
Yeah, it's definitely deserving. Like, my vote was for Haley Steinfeld, but I think Amy Madigan was pretty high up on my ballot. She is definitely, like, the big standout of that movie, and yeah, she does just an incredible performance. Yeah.
By the way, shout out Julia Garner for getting a nomination here. That's really fun. It's nice to see an ensemble like Weapons be rewarded that way. Further shout out Ariana Grande and her Wicked Soul nominee for the night. I don't know if Wicked got nominated for much for us last year, so I'll have to go back and check if Ariana Grande was nominated last year too. She might have been. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, all 5 of those performances to me were really great, and I think all of them would have been pretty deserving winners. But I'm glad Amy Madigan came out on top. Next, Bomb Squad's getting a little international with it, with the next category being Best Film Not in the English Language, where the nominees are No Other Choice, It Was Just an Accident, and The Secret Agent. Pretty fun crop here. Tim, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? What's your personal favorite of these nominees?
Well, the only nominee in this category that I've seen is No Other Choice, and I'm going to go all in on it. Park Chan-wook is one of the greatest contemporary directors in the world, and his latest outing is a great film that is both darkly funny and brutally tragic. You're not pulling teeth watching No Other Choice. Back to you, Ted.
That's true. Austin, what say you? Will win, should win, personal favorite?
Now, I'm kind of ashamed to say I didn't watch It Was Just an Accident, especially now when the people of Iran.
Oh my god.
But between the 2 nominees that I did see, I'm picking the one that regularly does the Vince Gilligan thing, where you make the world's most technically complicated shots look like a walk in the park. Park Chan-wook. Ooh, No Other Choice, ladies and gentlemen. The world's very first ever job hunting movie with a fucking battle royale mode. It's just the one I bet most people have seen, and I've never heard anybody in our circle of associates say anything negative about it. I'm putting all my chips on No Other Choice for the win. Best foreign language, lock it in. Tanner, back to you.
Great stuff, great stuff. Well, my favorite of these nominees and my favorite film not in the English language of the year is the same. Like these 2 guys, it's No Other Choice. I think it's Park Chan-wook's best. Yeah, I had no other choice. I think it's his best movie since Old Boy. I would put it on the same tier as Old Boy, and Park Chan-wook has made a lot of amazing films since Old Boy. But this to me is just a perfect black comedy satire of capitalism, of job hunting, and it has that extra little tinge of AI at the end that just makes it feel especially relevant to our moment in time. But do the voters agree with us overall? We'll find out. Can we get a drum roll, please? It was very close. A single ballot could have pushed any of these movies into being the winner. But for our voters, we nailed it. The winner is, of course, No Other Choice. There was no other choice. There was no other choice. All right. Tim, what do you think of that win?
I think it's a deserving win. Thought No Other Choice was a great film. Happy to see it win. I have not seen the other two nominees, as I said. I'm sure they're great. I'll have to give them a watch, but happy to see this one win.
Austin, what say you?
I kind of knew it was going to be No Other Choice when I saw the 3 nominees. I mean, unless it's only just an accident, it was like a fucking masterpiece or something. I enjoyed The Secret Agent. I thought the way it blended genres was really interesting, but I could not imagine anybody in our circle of people we know being super stoked at the end of it. It is a really weird film. It's almost more to like kind of show what the filmmaker can cobble together, more so than it is a very satisfying watch. Whereas No Other Choice does feel like a more complete, like what you get from those South Korean masterpieces we've been getting for the last 20 years. I think No Other Choice is a very deserving win, and I'm happy we get more Park Chan-wook movies.
Yeah, I still haven't seen It Was Just an Accident, but I also did really like The Secret Agent. Ending included. I thought it was a very bold ending. Very intentionally unsatisfying in a way that I found satisfying. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
I appreciate it when filmmakers have the guts to go, fuck you, actually. Eat shit and die.
Eat shit and live.
It's such an accurate way to describe the ending. It's eat shit and die.
But yeah, No Other Choice was one of my favorite movies of the year. It was my personal favorite for best film not in the English language. It's a great pick. But you know what No Other Choice is? It's an adapted screenplay, which is, of course, our next category that No Other Choice is not nominated in. But we're talking about it anyway. It's Best Adapted Screenplay, and the nominees are One Battle After Another, Wake Up Dead Man, Superman, Begonia, and Train Dreams. Tim, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite in this category, regardless of nominee?
Once again, I'm going all in on One Battle After Another. While I have not read the novel Vineland, I can say that One Battle After Another's story is incredibly engaging and a bold statement in the face of rising fascism. Viva la revolution! Back to you, Ted.
Damn straight. Austin, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite?
My vote for this one was heavily against the grain. I actually voted for Train Dreams, because it's my favorite best adapted screenplay of the year. I might be the reason it's there. Words alone cannot describe how magical my first watch of Train Dreams was. The best way I could think to describe it was, remember how incredible Wes Anderson movies felt when you were a teenager? Like how Rushmore and the Royal Tenenbaums hit like a fucking truck when you're in high school? The magic of peak Wes Anderson, but for adults. It captures the significance of an unimportant man's life better than almost any movie I have ever seen. But based on the crowd we're working with and the mental calculus about the voters, I'm going to agree with Tim. One Battle After Another might be the victor for this shit. Not even because, I don't like the screenplay for the movie, just because my other guess for what people would vote for would be Wake Up Dead Man, and I don't think that's actually an adapted screenplay. Is that adapted from something? So yeah, voting for One Battle again, because I think the Rian Johnson movie is a trap. Tanner, feel free to correct me if I'm mistaken.
What I will say is that in years past, if I received a ballot that mistakenly put something that qualifies for original versus adapted in the wrong category, I just count the points in the correct category. I don't let the voters decide in that regard. And I traditionally follow Oscar rules. And according to the Oscar rules, sequels, because they use pre-existing characters, count as adapted screenplays. And because of that reason, my personal favorite of these nominees and my favorite adapted screenplay of the year is Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. It's my favorite of the Knives Out movies. Ryan Johnson is one of the best writers working in Hollywood today. I think it is brilliantly written. All the dialogue is really great. I think it is the first time that these Knives Out movies have actually been a proper whodunit, where I genuinely couldn't quite figure out who was responsible. It was his first time doing a proper whodunit, which I thought was great. I think the religious themes are really engaging and very emotionally charged. It has some of the best scenes in Ryan Johnson's entire career. I honestly think it might be Ryan Johnson's best movie. And because of that, I think it's probably his best screenplay. Does the voting body at large agree with me? We'll find out. Can I get a drum roll, please? In a fucking landslide. It wasn't close. The winner is One Battle After Another.
Oh, sick! Woo! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, this was my second favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
So, pretty fair win, pretty deserving win. Austin, what do you think about that?
I mean, it has so many fucking iconic lines in there. It's like this crazy, like, blend of a movie that, like, a screenplay that Paul Thomas Anderson has been working on since the 90s and, like, a really, like, rough adaptation of Vineland. I think it's a fucking excellent screenplay. I'm very happy to see that it won.
100%. Tim, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, this was my vote. Happy to see it win. Is this the first win for One Battle After Another?
I believe so.
Interesting. But yeah, it's definitely a deserving win. Happy to see it. Great story, great screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say deserves to win for... I've had a few.
You what?
A few small beers. Deserves to win for
Fair
that
enough.
alone.
Let him go.
Deserves to win for that alone, let's be honest. That's the line of the year, right?
A few small beers.
Few small beers.
I feel like that's the defining line in line of dialogue in movies this year.
The first time I saw the trailer where Leo, like, goes over to that kid and is like, anything you do to my daughter, I will do to your entire fucking family, I lost my mind!
It's so great. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't nominated in our best comedy category, because it is a very funny dark comedy.
Yeah.
Now, for our next award, it is a first award in the history of Bomb Squad. Much like the Oscars this year, we have added a best casting category. But to make things simpler for people, I made it best casting / ensemble. And we're going to go through those nominees starting now. The nominees for best casting / ensemble in a motion picture are Sinners, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, Weapons, and Ephus. Austin, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite ensemble / casting of the year?
My vote here, my favorite, was Martin's Supremacy. I called this out on the episode we did, but Jennifer Vendetti is a fucking miracle worker for finding this many actors who look like authentic 1950s New Yorkers. Josh Safdie did that thing that Friedkin did on The Exorcist, where he, like, leaned over to the DP and was like, I want this to look like a fucking documentary. And a huge part of that was casting this absolute freak show full of, like, stocky men with heavy jaws and women with, like, strong hands and lined faces. But I did a moment of self-reflection, and I pondered, maybe I'm not giving Sinners enough attention. A lot of people loved Sinners, and Sinners was chock full of lots of really cool actors. You can't deny that. This was like the first big awards film of the year, and I think a lot more people partied in that barn than they saw the guy from Dune come in another guy's wife. So, yeah, that's my lock. That's my lock for casting ensemble. It's gonna be Sinners. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. My pick for best ensemble of the year is Ephus, a movie that is so entirely defined by its ensemble cast with a bunch of there is no small part in this movie. Every part, no matter how many lines it has, is deeply important to the fabric of this movie, and it is perfectly cast. I feel like I know every person in this movie. I feel like I could get on a plane, fly to New England right now, and meet every single one of these people. In large part because all of these people are, in fact, actors from New England. The way they interact with each other is perfect. The chemistry is great. And to throw a bone from Austin, the lead thug from Uncut Gems is here.
I hate him so fucking much!
And,
why'd he kill Howie?
He's a better person in this movie. But yeah, my favorite ensemble of the year was Ephus, man. And I mean, like, of course it is. I've sung that movie's praises a bazillion times, and a large part of that is, in fact, the ensemble. I mean, it's a large cast, and everyone does an amazing job. Do the voters at large agree with me?
I haven't gone yet, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tim. I don't know how I
got
fucked
so
that up.
excited.
I don't know how I fucked that up. That's a first.
I was gonna let you cook, but yeah, it's my turn. Going all in on Sinners for this one. The cast of Sinners is phenomenal, from the leads to the supporting actors to the minor roles. Every character feels perfectly cast. It's a cast so nice they got Michael B. Jordan twice. Tell us the fucking answer, Tanner.
Well, my apologies on that. Do the voters agree with Tim? We'll find out. Can I get a drum roll, please? And yet another landslide victory. The winner is Sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty deserving pick. What do we think of that one, boys? Tim, what say you?
Let's go. We'd love to see it.
And Austin, what about you? What do you think of that win?
Yeah, they got a lot of people firing on all cylinders here. A lot of really solid black actors. Haley Steinfeld getting to explore her kind of like, an interesting ethnicity. The vampire. Holy shit, the villain. That guy's having a whole fuking. What's it? Josh O'Connell?
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell.
Thank you. He's having a whole fucking time between this and Jimmy. They got a lot of people together just really kicking ass for Ryan Coogler. And I think Marty Supreme probably did better cast ensemble shit. But you know what? I think the people got to shine more in Sinners, each individual. It was kind of the Chalamet show. So, you know what? I'm wrong. Sinners probably deserved it more.
Yeah, this is a pretty great pick. I'm double checking something, but I do believe, this was my third place vote for this category. So I'd say it's a pretty deserving win. Our first ever winner for the Bombs Got Award for Best Casting. A movie that I'm pretty confident will also win Best Casting at the Oscars.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, speaking of awards, duh. Where do you think we are right now? We're moving on to our next category, which is Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are Sinners. That's supposed to say it was just an accident, because that nominee is It Was Just an Accident. I thought I fixed that. It says Wake Up Dead Man. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Weapons, and Ephus. Tim, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your personal favorite original screenplay of the year?
Once again, all in on Sinners. Tells a very meaningful story about black culture and black art, and on top of that, it's just a really fun story. Big props to Ryan Coogler for writing such a great original story after all his work on IP projects. Back to you, Tim.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Austin, what do you think will win, should win, personal favorite original screenplay of the year?
I put Weapons down as my vote for this one because don't get me wrong, Ephus was hilarious, and I think Marty Supreme is a major achievement in storytelling. But one of the reasons Weapons was such a critical darling was its unique screenplay structure. When Tanner came to me at work and told me early reviews are coming in for Weapons, the movie about an ominous mass kidnapping, they're comparing that movie to Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia. I thought he was fucking with me. But just like the time he told me they assault the Joker out of Joaquin Phoenix and Folia do, he was not fucking with me, actually. That said, as much as I adore Weapons, I knew who was winning this all the way back in April. For containing the timeless line, so you can rob banks and trains, but you can't steal this pussy for one night. Sinners is winning Best Original Screenplay. Not to knock the incredible action in the second half of the film, but the first half where Smoke and Stack are like going around and setting up for the party, it made me feel like I was watching something on the same caliber as The Dark Knight. That was the level of locked in I was. Coogler built an incredible world, completely from scratch. That's my lock. Sinners for Best Original Screenplay, even though it's actually adapted from the book She Comes First by Ian Kerner. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. I agree with a lot of what you're saying anyway.
Oh, damn.
My favorite original screenplay of the year is EFIS. In the past category, I talked a lot about how the ensemble is a big part of why that movie works. Well, part of what makes the casting ensemble so incredible is obviously the casting, but also the story they're being cast to tell and the dialogue they are saying. This is such a mesmerizing movie that I remember when I watched EFIS for the first time, near the ending, I spontaneously started crying for, at the time, reasons I didn't even understand why. I just started, and when I say cry, I mean I started fucking sobbing in the theater, like loudly. I couldn't help myself. And after giving some time, it's because I realized that out of nowhere, because of the way the screenplay is structured and how it was written, I realized, because the movie is just slowly giving you these details over the course of the time, and then it finally hit me. When this game ends, this is the last time any of these people are going to see each other. And the fact that the movie was able to make me feel that deeply, was able to make me respond so incredibly emotionally on something that is, let's be honest, it is not outright stated, it is only implied. To make me that emotional over an implication, I think is a remarkable feat of screenwriting. I know EFIS became a big meme for me this year, but that was in large part because I really do love EFIS. Do the voters love EFIS as much as I do? We'll find out here in a moment. Can I get a drum roll, please? Once again, it was a landslide. The winner is Sinners.
Yeah.
No duh, I guess. This is a pretty obvious winner. A lot of people won Sinners. This is its, let me count here, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth award of the night so far. It's having a pretty great night, ain't it now, fellas? Austin, what do you say about that win?
Just having to pull that 180 in a way where your film can still feel like a serious awards contender. Because you think of something so crazy like From Dusk Till Dawn. What a monumental achievement, making a serious movie about, like, you know, racism and appropriation and vampires. It feels like back in the day where we got like Pride and Prejudice and vampires, but if a fucking genius took a shot at it. One of those kinds of things. So yeah, Coogler deserves it. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Sinners, I mean, it is if you want to vote on a screenplay for original screenplay based off of how original it is, this one is pretty original. A lot of people just call it Black Dusk Till Dawn, which I think does a disservice to both movies. I think that is unfair to both movies. I think they are very different movies that just both happen to be about vampires and have quasi-Western aesthetics, I guess. But beyond that, I think it's a pretty silly comparison. But yeah, Sinners was great, and Sinners was, I shit you not, almost nominated for our next category, which is Best Action Film, where the nominees are Superman, One Battle After Another, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Austin, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what's your personal favorite action movie of the year?
Well, while One Battle After Another is, like, the kinetic masterpiece of our times, it does not, in fact, contain a man hanging off the edge of a biplane. My top ballot for best action movie, if I'm being honest with myself about what my favorite action movie was this year, it's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It's probably the worst movie overall of the nominees here, but when it comes to, like, action, in my opinion, you're never beating Tom Cruise. That stated, there's a really high chance that One Battle After Another is stealing this award away, mostly because it doesn't require you to sit through 2 hours of build-up about how the main character is the Messiah before anything cool happens. Shit, the opening scene where the French 75 raid the immigration camp felt like one of the most radical things put to celluloid this year. Almost more crazy than a man hanging off a plane. Fuck it, quality beats out genre clout just this time. I think One Battle After Another is winning the trophy. Lock it in, Pregnant Lady with a Machine Gun for Best Action Movie. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, my personal favorite of these nominees is the same as my favorite action movie of the year. While it is actually probably my least favorite of these 3 nominees, in terms of being an action movie, much like Austin just said, it has to be Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. He jumped from one biplane to another fucking biplane. Copy and paste everything I said for best stunt/choreography. If you're talking about a movie where the action made me white-knuckled, sweaty, on the edge of my seat, it's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
I still haven't gone.
What's wrong, Austin?
I still haven't gone.
Oh, Tim hasn't gone?
You gotta stop doing that.
You went right after me instead of going to Tim again.
Austin's not going first anymore.
That's fine. That's fine.
Tim, what is your favorite action? You know the questions.
Oh, yeah. I think Superman might be taking this one. Of the nominees, I think One Battle After Another is the most deserving, but my vote was for Sinners. In addition to being a great horror film, Sinners has some great action. The barn battle set piece is possibly the best action scene of last year, and Smoke shooting up the Klansmen is an incredibly fun and deeply satisfying climax.
Great stuff, great stuff. Well, do the voters agree with me? Do they agree with Tim? Do they agree with Austin? Can I get a drum roll, please? Wasn't close. The winner is One Battle After Another.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
It's quite surprising. To me, that was surprising because that movie didn't even... Actually, this isn't surprising. I guess it's one of those things where, like, I guess it's kind of an action movie because I'm looking at my ballot right now and I definitely gave it a 3rd place vote. But this is a true story. My 3rd place vote was One Battle After Another. My 2nd place vote was Superman. My 1st place vote was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So I'd say it's a pretty deserving win, even though I don't necessarily think of it as an action movie first. The action isn't necessarily what makes it great. It's probably the best movie in that list, so it's a fair win. Tim, what do you say about that?
Yeah, I think it's a great win for this category. Like, it's a movie that doesn't have a lot of, like, battle set pieces or anything, but it's definitely an action movie. Just the intensity of seeing Leo running and for his life and for his daughter's life, the fucking car rolling hill thing. Yeah, absolutely deserving win for best action.
I completely agree. Yeah, it's a pretty deserving one. Austin, what do you think about that? You nailed it. You nailed the prediction.
Yeah, the mental calculus for this one was tough. Like, are we going with best action movie or best movie with action? And, yeah, One Battle has a lot of... I just remember seeing that ski scene with all the skateboarding kids going through the street in the trailer and being like,
yes.
wow, there's a lot of incredible operatic shit that happens in here. One of the edges has over Mission Impossible is not like Mission Impossible takes 2 hours to get to some really crazy, like, memorable set pieces. One battle starts out fucking insane, and the whole first 30 minutes are just rocking your world. So I'm happy I guessed right. And yeah, it is a fucking solid action movie by some definitions, but mostly it's a really great movie.
Absolutely.
So happy I guessed right.
Yep, you nailed it. And next, we're going to the category that I think most singularly defines movies as an art form. And that is Best Editing in a Motion Picture, where the nominees are One Battle After Another, Ephes, Sinners, Marty Supreme, and Weapons. Pretty great crop of nominees there. Tim, we'll start with you, maybe one of the resident editors of the group. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? What's your personal favorite edited movie of the year?
I think One Battle After Another might take this one, but my vote was for Weapons. The editing in Weapons is a big part of what made the story so engaging. It's excellently paced and does a great job of using different perspectives to expand what we can see in each scene as the story progresses. Barbarian walked so that Weapons could Naruto run. Back to you, Tanner.
That is so true. Great stuff, great stuff. Austin, what say you? What do you think will win, should win, personal favorite editing of the year?
This was a tough one. I really need to shout out Weapons for being a horror movie that's cut like a David Fincher thriller. Joe Murphy did an incredible job of giving each chapter its own rhythm and lining up reveals to hit with maximum impact. Plus, keeping all those interlocking stories tied together and trying to figure out which shots and angles work best at what time during the non-linear presentation must have required some serious Ivy League, Goodwill Hunting-ass math. But at the end of the day, my ballot was cast for One Battle After Another. Fucking Andy Jurgensen got this crazy genre smoothie from PTA. It's a car chase thriller. It's a family melodrama, a political satire. It's just a hangout movie. And somehow, he made all these shifts feel like one movie that just has a really fucking cool personality. Writing the tone on this and handling some of the intercuts was probably crazy hard work. So yeah, that's it. My ballot was for One Battle After Another, and I'm kinda confident that it's gonna win. Hard to beat Weapons, though. Lock it in. One timeline after another wins Best Editing. Back to you, Tanner.
Great stuff, great stuff. I really agree.
Fuck! I'm sorry. God damn it! Cut it out.
Sorry, I just want to imagine showing this clip to someone out of context, me just lifting up the case for the Blu-ray of Ephes, and you guys just immediately losing your shit, presenting that to someone devoid of context.
No, that's the one highlight we're gonna do for this.
My favorite editing of the year was Ephes, mostly because I have never seen another movie perfectly match the intricacies, the rhythm, the music of baseball. Ephes is edited the same way it feels to watch a baseball game on a beautiful summer afternoon. It just absolutely perfectly matches baseball, and I've never seen a movie like that before do that. Ephes was a very special movie. I am so ecstatic that basically because of me alone, frankly, screaming at everyone to watch Ephes, an indie movie that like 7 people saw in theaters, got nominated for 4 of our awards tonight. Because it is a truly special movie. Do our voters at large agree it's special enough to give it the win here? We'll find out. Can I get a drum roll, please? Per Bomb Squad Award show tradition, we always have at least one of these results. Because the winner is, in fact, winners, plural. It's a tie between One Battle After Another and Weapons.
Let's go.
You two must be very happy right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Go us.
Yeah. Great. I think it's a very deserving set of wins. Austin, what do you think about that?
I'm so fucking happy. It was so hard to choose. They both did, like, different really cool things, you know? The structure of Weapons was such a bold choice, but, like, fucking One Battle is this behemoth. I'm so pleased with this tie. Damn!
Yeah. Tim, how about you? How do you feel about this one?
It's the perfect platonic middle ground. We get the big behemoth and the little horror movie that could. Happy to see it.
Yeah, I agree. It is pretty great stuff. Yeah, I'd say these are a pretty deserving set of winners. One Battle After Another was my second place vote, and I don't remember where I had Weapons. I might not have voted for it. I don't remember. No, it probably would have been my sixth place vote, though, if I had voted for it, I guess, because it is pretty impressive to handle that sort of interwoven, slightly chronologically changing timeline stuff. And One Battle After Another is impressive because it makes a 165-minute movie feel like an 80-minute movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a hallmark of great editing. All right, now we're on to our final four awards, the big four awards. And before we get into this next award, I just want to preface something. I do count the votes. All of the ballots are sent to me. I do the math for what they mean. I'm going to briefly explain our balloting system here very quickly. A first place vote is worth 7 points. A second place vote is worth 4 points. A third place vote is worth 3 points. A fourth place vote is worth 2 points. A fifth place vote is worth 1 point. Okay? So first place votes can rack you up quickly, but you can also sneak in there by getting a lot of support in your lower votes. All right? I'm saying that. 2, we had some fairly low participation this year. People were busy. They weren't able to get back to me with their ballots. So because of that, we only had so many ballots, which can cause some weirdness to happen. And the third thing I want to say is that the person responsible for one of these nominations that you probably, once you see it, will realize why I'm giving this preface. Nobody in Bomb Squad voted for that. It was guests that voted for this nominee. Okay?
It's this category.
I'm
Oh my
emphasizing this enough because I want to make it clear that yes, I count the votes. I do not rig things. I don't intentionally give extra points or subtract points. I legitimately do the math based off of the ballots that are given to me. With that being said, the nominees for Best Actor in a Leading Role are Kalen Kohlenberg in You Got Something on Your Shirt.
There we go!
Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme. Josh O'Connor in Wake Up Dead Man. Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. And Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. Pretty great crop of nominees here, I say. I would say so myself. I didn't direct one of these performances, not at all. I am not responsible for directing one of these performances. Austin, we're going to start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what was your personal favorite leading man performance of the year?
My favorite and the one I cast my ballot for was Kalen, and You've Got Something on Your Shirt.
That's
right.
a fucking lie.
It's true. Don't tell anybody at the synagogue, but I voted for Michael B. Jordan with this one. Mind you, I am a Marty supremacist, and we are indeed making it out of the shtetl with this one, but you can't deny the power of a movie star doing fucking double duty. It worked for me with Dead Ringers, it worked for me in The Social Network, and it worked for me like crazy in Sinners. he did such a phenomenal job finding, like, a distinct physicality and voice and rhythm for each of the Smokestack twins. It's not even anything, like, fucking gimmicky, like one's got a limb. The differences between the two are small and cumulative. Like, this role really marries the physical charisma he's always had with this layered interior character study shit. Plus, it's so much fucking fun watching him kill a bunch of Klansmen with then that fucking mythical ass shot with the Tommy gun. That's my lock. Michael B. Jordan for Best Actor. Tim.
Yeah, Tim, go ahead and let it rip. Will win, should win, personal favorite.
In my heart of hearts, Kalen Kohlenberg is the winner. Regardless of what you say next, he is the winner in my heart. That being said, I gotta go all in on Michael B. Jordan. Not only is he playing two characters, he's bringing such unique characteristics to each of the Smokestack twins, making them very distinct from each other. In a film full of amazing performances, Michael B. Jordan is the star of the show. Back to you, Tanner.
Yeah, great stuff. My personal favorite of these nominees is probably Josh O'Connor in Wake Up Dead Man. I think he does some really spectacular work. Specifically that scene where he goes into priest mode after being distracted from priesting for a bit, I think is really beautifully done, and a lot of that is Rian Johnson's writing, but I also think his performance is a really spectacular, is that extra oomph that really pushes it into the stratosphere. My favorite leading man performance of the year, though, wasn't even nominated. It's Lee Byung-hun in No Other Choice. I don't know, man. Something about his performance really stuck with me. All the little intricacies, how sympathetic I wanted to feel for him, even though he's a pretty unsympathetic character. He nails the comedy really well. He's kind of swinging wildly between emotions in a really impressive way. I just thought it was really spectacular. That being said, fuck all that. Kalen should win the goddamn award.
That's where it's at.
Exactly.
Did the voters make the right choice? Can I get a drum roll, please? In what is by far the biggest landslide victory in any of our acting categories, I regret to inform you that Kalen Kohlenberg did not win Best Actor in a Leading Role.
No! Fuck! Damn it!
But I can tell you another black guy did, because the winner is Michael B. Jordan in Sinners.
Let's go!
That's where it's at!
Yeah, pretty deserving win here. If for no other reason that it's almost cheating because he's playing two guys. That's two performances. Kind of bullshit. The chat is very upset that KK did not win. I understand the frustration. I think if when I originally came up with the idea for award show, I almost had an idea of 2 rounds, one of which where I do that point system that determines the nominees, and then a second round in which I send out the nominees for people to vote on. I thought that might have been too cumbersome, so I never went that direction. I do think that if we did do it that way, I think KK would have won.
Yeah, we have solidarity.
But
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is a very deserving winner. Tim, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Michael B. Jordan is the deserving winner for this award. Absolutely fucking killed it in one battle after another. Yeah, being able to play 2 characters with such unique voices is really an incredible gift. Yeah, definitely deserving lead.
Yeah, I agree. Austin, what do you think of this win?
Michael B. Jordan is the Michael Jordan of eating pussy in this movie. I loved his work. He was amazing.
Fuck yeah.
There's a lot. You also get a lot of emotional conflict once one of them turns into a vampire. So I think Coogler just gave him the perfect vehicle for showcasing his range. And Michael B. Jordan is in a lot of really good movies where he gets to show off, like the Creed franchise. But this might be like one of his most iconic like big roles, besides the one borrowed from a big franchise that already existed.
Yeah, I agree. Michael B. Jordan is a pretty deserving winner. He didn't make my personal ballot. Josh O'Connor did, Leo did, and obviously Yi Bong Hung did. I do want to shout out the guy I gave a third place vote to, which was Will Arnett in Is This Thing On? That was one of the best movies of the year, but like fucking nobody saw it, and it hasn't been nominated for any Oscars. I haven't really been harping on that one like Ephus, because Is This Thing On is a Bradley Cooper movie, and in my opinion, Bradley Cooper's best directing work. And Ephus is a little baseball movie I have to beg people to even acknowledge. But I do want to get shout out Will Arnett. That gives the performance of his career in This Is This Thing On. It's fantastic. All right, time for the second of the big four categories. We gave you Best Actor in a Leading Role. Let's talk about Best Actress in a Leading Role, where the nominees are Pamela Anderson in The Naked Gun, Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Emma Stone in Begonia, Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another, and somehow Vanessa Kirby in Fantastic Four: The First Steps.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Tim, we'll start. Remember when we had Florence Pugh that one year? It could be worse. Tim, we'll start with you. Who do you think will win, should win, in personal favorite of these nominees?
I'm going all in on Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another. She played a character with a lot of growth over the course of the film, and she really took charge in her role. Given how early in her career this is, I'm really excited to see what Chase Infinity goes on to do from here. Back to you, Tanner.
Absolutely, Austin. Will win, should win, personal favorite.
See, my vote here was for Amanda Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee. Her transformation from like an abused mill worker to a ferocious religious leader was truly incredible to watch. That weird fucking way she sings and the ambiguity that she casts really makes you feel like you're experiencing the company of someone who can convince other people that they are a genuine prophet. But nobody fucking saw that movie. I think it came out on VOD like yesterday. And so my vote is Jessie Buckley is gonna win this. She is the emotional engine of Hamnet. It's structured around her point of view. Her work is really physical. It's not pretty at all. She had to mentally visit some fucking heinous, impossible places. And her journey with grief is what makes the final act so powerful. You would truly believe this is the type of woman who could haunt a writer for the rest of his life. Even Shakespeare. That's my guess. Jessie Buckley for Best Lead Actress.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. My personal favorite of these nominees and my favorite lead actress performance in the year is Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another. I think she's doing some really, really amazing stuff here. She is holding her weight with some legendary veterans in this movie, like Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio. I think she is able to just perfectly handle this performance of like an adult, of a kid that's an adult who really shouldn't have to be an adult but is an adult. She made me cry a lot in this movie. I think she's doing some really spectacular stuff, and I don't give a fuck what Joe is saying in the group chat right now, because I see him messaging something and I know he's already said he doesn't get the hype for this performance. This performance is amazing. I don't fucking care what anyone says. I think she's amazing in this movie. But do the voters agree with me? Can I get a drum roll, please? The closest of our acting races of the night. By a margin of 3 points, the winner is Vanessa... No, I'm just kidding. It's Chase Infinity in One Battle After Another.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That was my favorite leading actress performance of the year. I thought she was pretty spectacular. Austin, what do you think about that?
I know the casting director was very grateful when they like found someone who already knew like karate and stuff, had the physicality necessary for the role. There was like they had to go like look far and wide to get Chase Infinity, and I think it is kind of like a Haley Steinfeld and True Grit kind of thing. So yeah, I understand why she won. I'm a little surprised, but it makes sense.
Yeah, Tim, how about that? You nailed it.
Yeah, I think she's absolutely deserving. Definitely really impressed with her performance in the movie. And, well, like I said, excited to see what she goes on to do from here, given how early this is in her career.
So yeah, let's talk about that. That is One Battle After Another's, what, fourth win of the night? Or third? Third. Fourth? Third. It won adapted screenplay, it won action movie, it tied for editing and lead actress. That's its fourth win of the night. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
Not bad.
pretty strong win. Best lead actor went to Sinners, and that was its seventh win of the night. So, it's a pretty tight race, I think. I think it's pretty obvious what Best Picture is between. No, Bennett, Emma Myers was not nominated for a Minecraft movie. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Hell yeah.
So we have two front runners for Best Picture here, clearly. What is going to win? Well, we'll find out after this category, which maybe will give us a little clarity. Best Director. And the nominees are Josh Safdie in Marty Supreme, Guillermo del Toro in Frankenstein, Zach Krieger in Weapons, Paul Thomas Anderson in One Battle After Another, and Ryan Coogler in Sinners. Pretty awesome crop of nominees there, if you ask me, and also Guillermo del Toro is there, which is cool. So, Tim, we'll start with you. What do you think will win? What do you think should win? And what is your personal favorite directing of the year?
Any one of these nominees would be a deserving winner, but I have to give it to PTA. One Battle After Another is one of his strongest films, possibly my new favorite, and I'm glad we were able to get something so magnificent from it. Back to you, Tim.
Absolutely, I agree. Bennett's in the chat going, no Jared Hess nomination? Yeah, man. You should have been in here earlier when I told everyone that a Minecraft movie was almost nominated for Best Animated Feature. All right, it almost was so bad. Austin, what say you? Will win, should win, personal favorite directing of the year?
With all due respect to Josh Safdie for creating one of the best meditations on Judaism ever set to film, I voted for PTA, and I think PTA is going to win this. One Battle After Another, it has the Boogie Nights maximalism, the political paranoia of the master, and like the kooky looseness of Licorice Pizza. We have seen a surprising amount of art house directors get handed $100 million in the last decade, and One Battle After Another is by far the greatest, most cinematic pile of burning studio money I have ever seen. He directs the fuck out of the set pieces that had to be logistical nightmares to shoot. He gets incredible performances out of his actors, and he does that great director flex where you make a first-time actor act as well as Haley Steinfeld did in True Grit. And he balances, like, the tones in this impossible way that I think only a late-career PTA could pull off. That's my lock. I agree with Tim. Art School Dropout Jesus wins for Best Director.
Yeah, 100% I agree. I'm going to give it a minute because multiple people in the chat are complaining about an ad playing right now. I don't know how to control that, by the way. I think I can, but I don't know how. No, I have the stream pulled up right now. There's still 12 seconds left.
Okay. But yeah. Movies.
You like water sports?
Not so much.
Okay, have you both gone?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Already made a mistake twice. Yeah, my favorite of these nominees and my personal favorite directing of the year goes to the same guy. It's going to be Paul Thomas Anderson in One Battle After Another. I think this is his magnum opus. He blends comedy, action, thriller. He handles a massive ensemble with ease. He perfectly weaves in the script that he wrote through the movie perfectly. His framing is incredible. I honestly, it's like a perfect movie to me. One Battle After Another is a truly spectacular picture. I adore it so much, and because of that, I gotta give it to Paul Thomas Anderson, who made, I never thought he'd make a movie I liked more than Punch Drunk Love. All he had to do was make a blockbuster. Who knew? Do the voters agree with me, though? Can I get a drum roll, please? It was close. It was very close. And one of the last ballots I got broke this person for a win. Someone else was winning until this ballot came through. And that winner is Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another.
Yes! Fucking go! Yes!
Woo! Yeah, we nailed it, boys, huh? Austin, what do you think about that?
Good! Yeah!
And Bennett. Fuck. Tim, what do you think about that?
Bennett, what do you think about this?
Bennett thinks it should have been a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, true. A Minecraft movie does deserve Best Director. It directed the film Ephus. But no, PTA definitely deserving winner. Yeah, One Battle After Another is very good, and he did a good directing. Yeah.
Mamma mia.
Yeah. Honestly, I think all the nominees were pretty deserving. Bennett in the chat saying he should have been Josh Safdie. I do think he did great there. All of the nominees are great. I made a little joke about Del Toro earlier. Del Toro's one of my favorite directors. I just thought Frankenstein was a bit of a step down from his last few movies. It just didn't quite connect with me the way I wanted to. But I mean, Del Toro is one of the best directors we have working alive, so he was a deserving nominee. But yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson won, and I'd say that's a very deserving win. We love to see it. Well, guys, it's time for the big banana. It's time for the award of the night. Best Motion Picture of 2026. And as I'm looking at the nominees chart I made here, I typed 2025. I'm gonna kill myself.
Damn!
But
On stream.
that's true. The nominees for Best Picture of 2026 are 28 Years Later,
Woo.
Frankenstein, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, One Battle After Another, Sinners, Superman, Wake Up Dead Man, and Weapons. And unfortunately, a Minecraft movie did not make it.
Shit.
So, Austin, we'll start with you. What do you think will win out of these Best Picture nominees? What do you think should win out of these Best Picture nominees? And what was your favorite movie of last year? Go.
You know, I'm almost tired of sucking this movie off, but my vote for this category, my favorite, was One Battle After Another, One Trophy After Another, the grand American epic of our times, the political pipe bomb in the water heater that still feels fun to watch. That said, I know when to stop dick riding and start reading the room. It's my estimation, my guess, that Sinners is taking home the big trophy. It's a big, ambitious movie that lands emotionally. It's a maximalist southern vampire crime epic that advocates for resisting systemic exploitation and eating pussy. It lives in that same kind of like genre movie that's still capital A art lane that like Parasite and Everything Everywhere lived in. There's probably a reason it beat out every other movie in history with a staggering, like, 16 Oscar nominations or whatever it got. And it's also kind of swept the fucking award show. So yeah, it's my final lock of the night. Sinners fought the good fight. That's it. Back to you, Tanner.
It has been sweeping the award show so far, but the last two trophies have gone to One Battle After Another. So, including Best Director. So it's an interesting race here. And I think historically, other than our first year, I believe the Best Director winner has one picture, or did Denis Villeneuve won last year? I don't remember.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. What have I done?
Regardless. Or it could be like year one where Spider-Man No Way Home won Best Picture, but Denis Villeneuve won Best Director. Tim, what do you think will win of these 10 Best Picture nominees? What do you think should win of these 10 Best Picture nominees? And what was your favorite movie of 2026?
I mean, largely what I had written down is a shorter version of what Austin said. I gotta go all in on One Battle After Another, but I might actually be happier if Sinner takes the grand prize. In any case, if Cape Shit takes this award, I call shenanigans. Back to you, Tanner.
Superman hasn't won an award yet tonight, so I'm pretty confident it won't break out here. A lot of our Best Picture nominees are so far empty-handed. We have our almost annual tradition of having a movie nominated for Best Picture and nowhere else. If you remember year one, that happened in 2 movies with Inside and Come On, Come On. This year, it's 28 years later. Everyone seems to agree it's one of the best movies of the year, but nobody can seemingly agree on why that's the case. Kind of funny.
Threw a lot at the wall.
Yeah. My personal favorite of these nominees is the same of my favorite movie of 2026. I'm like Austin. I'm like Tim. My favorite movie of last year is One Battle After Another. I rewatched all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies leading up to One Battle After Another, and I quickly reached the conclusion that he is definitively one of my favorite directors, with multiple movies of his being movies I'd put in my all-time favorite movies list, like Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread, and of course now, One Battle After Another. And I also really love Licorice Pizza. Paul Thomas Anderson is entering this late era. He was given $130 million, and every single goddamn dollar of that budget can be seen on the screen. I'm so glad The Brutalist kind of unlocked VistaVision for people again, because he uses that film stock beautifully. I fucking adore One Battle After Another. Bennett, shut the fuck up about Licorice Pizza. Literally nobody cares. The movie came out 5 years ago. I'd rather you talk about a Minecraft movie. I fucking adore One Battle After Another. It is my favorite movie of last year. It's my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I do also want to give a special shout out to the rest of my top 3 movies, though. Superman was a very special and important movie to me. It was, to me, the definitive Superman movie. And, of course, Ephes was fucking amazing. True story, until the last few ballots, it was actually sneaking in for a Best Picture nomination. But something pushed it out. What did push it out? Well, per Bomb Squad Awards show tradition, I'm going to count down from 10th place to 1st place. The Best Picture nominees. So let's get it started. In 10th place, with 19 points, is No Other Choice. Our winner for Best Film not in the English language, barely snuck in. Kind of interesting, especially considering the fact that in 9th place is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, with 20 points. Had a decent night tonight. 2 acting nominees, a cinematography nomination, and a screenplay nomination, but it wasn't quite enough to get it to the top. In 8th place is It Was Just an Accident. Kind of interesting that this movie got more points in Best Picture than No Other Choice, but lost Best Film Not in the English Language to it. Kind of interesting how that works out. In 7th place, with 23 points, is 28 Years Later. It was one of the best movies of the year. We all seem to agree it was one of the best movies of the year. Nobody could seem to agree on why that was the case. In 6th place, with 27 points, is Frankenstein. People really dug this one. Joe especially liked Frankenstein. Like I said, despite my problems with it, I still generally really liked Frankenstein, and I think it's a deserving nominee here. One of multiple horror movies on our list today. One of 4, I believe. 4 of our nominees are horror movies. Pretty cool. In 5th place, with 38 points, big jump from the 27 points 28 years later got, is Superman. For me, this is the movie James Gunn has been waiting his entire career to make. I think it is spectacular. It has an amazing score, an amazing cast. It really makes you feel, it is the type of movie you go to the movies and you feel hopeful about the world again. In 4th place, with 43 points, is Marty Supreme. Came out late in the year. A lot of people really liked it. Austin especially loved it. I know this was Bennett's favorite movie of the year. It was definitely one of the best movies of the year. But after
it was my number 3.
After it lost Best Actor, it was pretty clear that it probably wasn't walking away with Best Picture. Oh well. In 3rd place with 45 points is Weapons. People really loved Weapons. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it was definitely in my personal top 10. I absolutely loved Weapons, and it is definitely one of the best movies of the year, and it deserves to be on this list. Well, fellas, that leaves us with 2 movies, and it's the same 2 movies that we have been saying time and time again tonight. Best Picture is either going to go to One Battle After Another or Sinners. I'm going to reveal the 2nd place voter first, so we can put together what won Best Picture. In 2nd place, with 77 points, only 7 points behind our eventual winner. According to Bomb Squad Awards Show's voters, the 2nd best movie of 2025 is One Battle After Another, which means the winner with 84 points is Sinners!
Sinners sweep!
Excellent.
Yeah. It won 8 awards tonight. It won Best Lead Actor. It was 1 point away from winning Best Director. It sweeped our below the line categories like sound and score and cinematography. Sinners, more like winners.
Let's fucking
damn.
Austin, what do you think about that one, huh? I know it's not your favorite movie of the year, but I'm pretty sure you were also a big fan of Sinners.
I mean, it makes complete fucking sense, you know? I can see Sinners, like, you know, being an event for a larger swath of the population than One Battle After Another. Like, I think One Battle hits a bit harder, maybe, if you know, like, more filmy shit. But Sinners is like, you know, it's very close to being as great as One Battle After Another is, but I think it's more commercially accessible. So, and also, like, all the stuff it achieved is fucking great. So it's still awesome that Sinners won tonight. It's a big win for Ryan Coogler and all the people who made the movie. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
Absolutely, I really agree. I mean, it is a great movie. Tim, what do you say this? I know it wasn't your favorite movie, but I'm pretty sure it was your 2nd place vote. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, it was my 2nd place vote, and like I said, as much as I think I like One Battle After Another more as a movie, I think I'm happier to see Sinners get this win. I'm gonna pop my 4K in at some point in the near future. I need to rewatch Sinners. Shit rocks.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Sinners is a really special movie. Really, really spectacular stuff. I adore Sinners. I think it is just such a fantastic movie. I believe it was my 4th favorite movie of the year. I liked Ephus and Superman a bit more, and One Battle and Another was obviously my favorite, but Sinners is also definitely one of my all-time favorite movies, and I think it's a pretty deserving win. Hold on. Oh, it's a
Moonlight.
recount? We got it wrong? We have a special announcer here to announce the real winner? Oh, let me get him. Turtle, what really won Best Picture? Hold on, I think she's handing me the... My God, it was Ephus! Ephus won every category! What a come from behind victory! Wow! What do we think of that one, boys?
Ephus sweep!
Ephus sweep!
Baseball.
I hope you guys know my cat's not trained. She just happened to be crawling around here and then she jumped up on the desk at perfect timing. Yeah. And
She knew game.
Ephus
Holy shit.
won every award except for one. And that award, of course, is the best fans in the world. Who won it this time? The winner is you, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee, aka the 2026 Bomb Squad Awards show. If you are listening on any of the audio platforms we are on, we really appreciate it. How about you mosey down over to the comment section? Nope, hold on. If you are listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, how about you mosey on down to the reviews and no, we're gonna leave a review, boost us in the algorithm, go to Patreon. $5 tier get you access to commentary tracks, $10 tier get you access to shout outs. So shout out my mom, Tiny Craft. Thanks so much for contributing to the channel. We really appreciate it. If you are not done giving us money, go to bombsquadproductions.shop where you can get a shirt, hoodie, poster, magnet, whatever you want. You can get it and so much more. It'll be really great. And while you are watching it on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, well, first off, if you're watching this live on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. It is a pretty decently big undertaking for me to do this. I don't have a lot of like I don't have a stream deck or anything. I have to put a lot of work at getting these votes in, making the assets, and then hosting it. It's a lot of work, and I really appreciate you for tuning in live. This is my baby, and I appreciate it. And if you're watching the edit on YouTube, first off, thank you to Tim for what will be a very quick turnaround getting this up on YouTube. Thank you in advance for that one. You're a beast. And if you're watching Tim's edit on YouTube, thank you also very much for watching. How about you mosey down over the comment section below and let me know, what do you think of the Bomb Squad Awards this year? Do you think Sinners was a worthy winner? Do you think Kaylin Kohlenberg should have won Best Actor in a Leading Role? What were some of your favorite performances? And finally, what was your favorite movie of 2026? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so you know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so you know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you, as always, so very much for watching. Tune in to the next episode of Bomb Squad Matinee, where we will talk about one of the first new movies of the year in The Bride. Kind of a controversial one. When I put it on the schedule, I was pretty confident it was going to be good. Did it turn out any good? Tune in next week to find out. Should be fun. Should be interesting. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching the awards show. And as always, in my heart, you are all winners. And while you might not win today, you're already all my friends. Shooter McGavin, Happy Gilmore. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Who gives a fuck about movies?
Baseball.
They slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."